Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Now, to celebrate the release of the next Hearthstone expansion, I'll be doing a packs giveaway. And I'll be giving away one big gift to one lucky subscriber. That's going to be the 50-pack Rastakhan Rumble pre-purchase, and here's how it's going to work. To be in for a chance to win those packs, you simply need to be a subscriber of my channel and leave a comment in the comment section below of this video. And in the comment, you need to simply tell me what your favourite competitive, standard or wild deck is in the current Hearthstone meta. No matter what rank you're playing at, whether you're playing at rank 20, rank 10 or rank 5 or legend. Just want to know what your favourite competitive deck is. And if you want to leave a deck code, please do. Maybe I will consider playing your deck. The deadline is in 1 week. So let's say 12 PM on Saturday the 17th of November, and I'll pick one random winner, and I will leave a pinned comment announcing the winner in this video, and I will reply to your individual comment notifying you as the winner. So you need to send me your Battle.net ID if you're chosen as the winner. You could leave this as a reply in the comments section, or to be safe, you could send me a private message on Twitter. Whatever you want to do is fine. And once we're friends in game, I will send you the pre-purchase as a gift. And of course, you will need to tell me what region you're playing on, whether it's EU, Asia or NA. And if we're not already friends in Hearthstone, please be aware it can take 1 week before Blizzard would let me send you a gift. Okay, let's move on to today's deck. We're playing All Dragons Mech Mage. Now, I loved Mech Mage back in the Goblins versus Gnomes days, the GVG days. Mech Mage was so much fun, you know, and a lot of people viewed it as a broken deck at the time, because if you got Mech Warper down early and played your discounted mechs, and if the Mech Warper couldn't be removed, you pretty much just won the game, because you'd snowball your opponent. These days, Mech Mage isn't really viewed as such a powerful threat. There are decks that are much more powerful, particularly if you play at ranks sort of 5 and 4 and 3 like I do on Wild. Even Shaman, Big Priest, they're everywhere, and Mech Mage really does fall short against them. But it's still a ridiculously fun deck to play. You look for the early curve. Turn 1, turn 2 plays. You look to discount your mechs with Mech Warper and Galvanizer. Goblin Blast Mage is especially good against aggressive opponents who play low health minions. You've got the magnetic effect as well in this deck, which can give you some big threats on the board. And you have Aloneth for refill, which is pretty cool. Against Paladin in particular, as I said, Goblin Blast Mage is so very, very good. Just the ability to snipe 1/1 dudes before they can get buffed is just absolutely tremendous. And I actually think if you can get the board early against Paladin and just kill their dudes constantly, I think you're favoured to win. In this instance here, it's too late for him. He's now got dudes on board, but I have mechs on board, and I have lethal because I've got a Frostbolt. And sometimes it is easy to miss lethal. You see dudes on board and you think, oh my god, he's going to buff them next turn. You become so preoccupied with thinking about how to kill the dudes that you forget that actually, if you just push a bit of face damage, you win the game. And that's what the snowball effect can do with Mech Mage. Against other aggressive decks, I haven't played this deck enough to be able to tell you if it's amazingly good or not. But in this casual game, hey, it worked out. But once I took this deck on the ladder, things really did not work out, because all I was facing on the ladder was Big Priest and even Shaman. And actually, in terms of early game board presence, unless you get a phenomenal early start, you pretty much lose the game. Because even Shaman with a 2-cost 3/4 in Totem Golem, that kills a Mech Warper easily. With a 4-mana 7/7, even Shaman can just outclass you early on the board. Big Priest is even worse for us, in my opinion. If they get Barnes on 4, you're pretty much screwed. Especially if they get Obsidian Statue, there's nothing you can really do to come back from that, because your minions are going to trade into those statues, your minions are going to die, and those statues are just going to get resurrected. And if you look at this start for me, we don't get the buff there, which is really, really frustrating and really, really annoying. In fact, this hand itself isn't especially great for me. Was there something more I could have done at the Mulligan stage? Alaneth, I mean, is there for turn 6, but I suspect that by then it'll be too late against Big Priest. And this is especially painful. This board that I've got here is especially painful. This is not the board I thought I would have playing Mech Mage on turn 3. I'd have expected something more substantial down, like a Mech Warper and a couple of other mechs on the board. But there's Barnes, and look, he gets the statue. And honestly, if he has a resurrection effects in hand, there's no coming back. The only chance that we have here is if the Goblin Blast Mage hits 3 into Barnes and we can trade into Barnes and kill it, and then a 2-cost resurrect brings back Barnes. I think that's the only chance we'd have of getting any kind of foothold on the board. Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that you're facing going up against Big Priest. It's just impossible to win. If I was playing even Shaman, I'd be having Devolve in my deck, potentially, which could help. Particularly as even Shaman, if you can build up a big board and they put taunts in the way, like statues or the Lich King, Devolve on that board can just get you lethal and can just win you the game. But we are purely a tempo deck in the sense that we run a couple of spells that can clear minions and help us control the board, but for the most part we're minion-centric and we rely on our minions controlling the board, doing damage, trading, and then going face and winning. And in this instance, no matter what minions we put down on the board, we're not going to be able to get to his face, and that's the problem. We're not going to be able to kill his obsidian statues quickly enough. And even with Alaneth drawing us cards every single turn for us, it's not going to be enough. Which actually says a lot for the power of Big Priest still in the wild meta. It's turn 6 for him, and look at what he's got on the board.
You play with fire, child.
And what's pretty funny about this game is we will probably draw our entire deck, okay, before he kills us, and we'll still lose. That's the hilarity. That's the hilarity behind this. Wow, 4 statues. And he's happy to go face. He doesn't even want to kill the Blast Mage. He's like, I don't care about your Goblin Blast Mage. I don't care about the fact you have Alaneth. And I think at this point, you just go through the motions, right? You know there's no chance of winning this game. I think the challenge is to see if I can draw my entire deck before I die. I think that's the challenge.
More. I must have more.
So, you do have a small number of spells in this deck. Those spells, as I said earlier, can be useful for targeting minions to clear the way so your own minions can go face. Or those spells can get you lethal, but in this instance he's at 30 health, and look, we even get the mech discount, right? We can play out a nice chunk of our hand here. but it's not enough. And thinking back to the Goblins versus Gnomes days of Hearthstone 2015, being able to build a board like this would usually be game winning back in those days, right? But of course, back then, Big Priest did not exist in its current form.
More. I must have more.
So it does feel like we're playing a GVG strategy here of you know, of gaining the board and snowballing. But against the current Hearthstone meta in 2018, it just doesn't feel like it does enough. I mean, maybe I'm missing a trick with Magnetic. Maybe I need to be thinking more about how I can build big threats, big minions through Magnetic that my opponent can't punch through. But in this instance, it just came too late, right? I mean, that's a 9/11. That's a big threat, but it's going to do nothing against Ragnaros here. There's a statue in the way. He's still at 30 health. So with two big taunts in the way, this is going to prove to be quite difficult. Big Priest, even though he hasn't really revealed it here, of course, Big Priest play, board clears, Light Bomb, Dragonfire Potion in some instances, certainly Excavated Evil. So even if you do build up some mechs on the board, you know, Shredder, Chugger, Mech Warper, Cogmaster, Excavated Evil clears all of them, and that's problematic. But yeah, we actually did manage to draw our entire deck and lose the game. But hey, we've done a little bit of damage to his face. That counts for something, right? Okay, so All Dragons Mech Mage. Maybe I'm just not playing this deck right. I don't know. Maybe I'm not skilled enough as a Mech Mage player. But I've played 3 games with this deck at rank 4, and I've lost all 3 on the wild ladder. So, but yeah, it was even Shamans and a Big Priest. So I just got wrecked. Couldn't get a foothold on the board, or any foothold I could get on the board as a result of Aloneth just came too late. In the case of even Shaman, they'd already done enough damage to my face such that once I'd actually built up lots of mechs, they just crackled my face or Jade Lightninged my face and they won the game. Against the Big Priest, as you saw, Obsidian Statue is just too difficult to punch through. So if you guys have any suggestions on a better way of constructing a Mech Mage deck, or if you guys have suggestions on a Mech Mage deck that's better than what I've got here, do consider leaving a comment about that, because I would be interested in playing more Mech Mage, but only if it is competitive between ranks 5, 4 and 3 on the Wild Mode ladder. So, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Do feel free to participate in that PAX giveaway. Give yourselves a chance of winning. And I'll see you guys all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.